Hi guys, this is Pleno1 and this is my 5th Vegas WSOP blog. This is going to be a hand reenactment, so a live hand. So the hand was from yesterday's 2.5k, 1.5 million prize pool, 2.5k buy-in. Villain is a Team Ivy Pro, reenacted his Duffer today. We then have a fish with a short stack. Well, not short stack, he has 15,000, the blinds are 200, 400. We still have 30,000, and he won a slots tournament to get into this tournament, so he is trying to protect his stack. Reads on him is he 5x's with aces and kings and min raises with queen 10 offsuit, that's all we saw. The Ivy Pro is a bit of a call-in station. He called a big free bet with ace 9 in a spot where he should have folded. We then have another short stack here who is just pretty passive. So action is, this guy raises to 800, 200, 400 with a 25 ante. Team Ivy Pro calls, because that's what he does. We then get another call from our friend, and then we look down. I'm not going to show the Ivy Pro what we have yet, because he doesn't know what our hand is. Let me find it. So that's our hand. So we go ahead and make it pretty big. We make it 3,100. I was going to make it 2,800, but we make it 3,100 instead, so 3,100. So there's our bet. The fish folds because he has queen 10 or something, and then the Ivy Pro goes ahead and calls because that's what he does. The guy, our actor here, doesn't actually know what the hand's on and stuff. But anyway, second guy folds. So the flop is pretty juicy. Queen of spades, 10 of spades, 5 of hearts. So look at our hand again. Does okay. So my bet size in here is always going to be less than what I started with, less than my free bet sizing. So we made it 31 pre-flop, so I make it 3,050 on the flop. So there's my 3,050. Ivy Pro looks at me, has his headphones on, and then goes ahead and calls. So we have another call. So there's now around about 12,000 plus a couple more, so maybe 16,000 in the pot. And I have around about 35,000 behind. Turn is the 5 of spades, 5 of diamonds. So just look at my hand again. We have this, and the board is this. So I go ahead and bet 8,700. I'm out of position, so there's my bet. Now at this point, I feel like the Ivy Pro will fold his better draws. Actually, never mind. Carry on. We'll do the analyst afterwards. So he goes ahead and calls. At this point, I'm like, okay. The river is then a king. So the river's a king. I've gone 3,100 pre-flop, 3,000 on flop, 9,000 on turn, and then on the river, I go ahead and bet 16,100. So I do this. The Ivy Pro thinks, and then I have at this point 20,000, and I bet 16,000 on the river. So the Ivy Pro thinks, looks at me, shakes his head a bit, and then goes ahead and calls. So I turn over my Jack 8 of spades for a missed straight flush on the flop, and then we river king, and he has ace queen. So at a first glance, it would look like, okay, he has ace queen, maybe it's standard. So let's look at my point of view of the hand. So pre-flop, I figure he doesn't have a great hand because he would free bet the fish because he's in position to fish. I actually expected him to free bet ace queen, but never mind, that's fine. So he calls, and then when we squeeze and he calls our c bet on the flop, I think his range is probably king jack, jack 9, queen jack, king queen, ace queen. When we get to the turn and I bet again, I think he always has king queen, ace queen. It's hard for him to have a combo flush draw because we have the jack of spades, so he can't have jack 9, king jack, or ace jack of spades. He probably free bets ace king always pre-flop. He would always free bet queens pre-flop. I think if he had 10s, he would either free bet pre-flop or maybe raise the flop versus me because he doesn't think I'm going to fold this flop very much, and we have an aggressive dynamic. And then on the river, I think even if he has king queen, it's going to be pretty hard for him to call because what hands can I have? Let's go through all my bluffs. If I have ace king, I'm not going to bet the river probably this much. If I have aces, I beat him because there's a pair of 5s there. If I have ace queen, then he chops. If I have a hand like King Jack, I probably check call the river or check the side. If I have Ace Jack, I have straight. If I have Jack 9, I have a straight. If I have queens, I can have queens. I can have tens. I can have kings. I can have aces. So he can't really beat too much. I have. I think he has. I probably have the only one hand he can beat. Like, I don't think I'm going to free bet. I think Jack 8's probably like the worst hand I free bet pre-flop too. So I could maybe have a suited ace, but I think on the turn I would just give up because on the turn he's not going to fold that much. I don't think so. So, Team Ivy Pro, what do you think about Ace Queen? Would you call and why?
As top pair on the flop.
Yeah, top on the flop, I think his call is pretty fine. I could be betting worse hands. On turn, I think it's pretty fine. What do you think about the river?
Yeah, I agree with your analysis on the hand. It's pretty much tough for him to beat anything the way you played it. And it's a pretty poor line.
So, I think in Vegas, this is the first big bluff that I've made in Vegas. It's a first biggest post-flop. I've done some 4-bets pre-flop, like all the stuff you have to do, but I think in general, it's my first big bluff in Vegas. I think people don't come to Vegas to fold. I thought this guy was like a pro, so maybe he can hand read pretty well, and he would know that he doesn't beat so much with Ace Queen and King Queen. Maybe with King Queen he would call, but I figured he would fold quite a lot. What do you think about my bluff? Think it's suicide, or how would you have played differently post-flop?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, if you're going to 3-bet a hand like that and the board runs out like that, you explain it like really well about your ranges on every street. So you're kind of committed to going for 3 barrels, and I think a lot of his range will call 2 streets, but the 3rd barrel.
What do you think his river calling range looks like?
I mean, if
before you see he has Ace Queen. Which kings think?
Pretty tight.
Which kings think he can have?
Like you said, even with King Queen, like.
Which kings think he has in his range? I think he folds King Jack on the turn when I bet basically like a big part of my stack. A paired board, he could be drawn to no outs. Ace King, I think he free bets pre-flop, so he probably can't have Ace King.
But it depends what Ivy Pro is, how good he is.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I was pretty impressed with how good he was.
Do you remember his name?
No, I don't remember his name, but his reasoning for calling me was that I didn't go all in on the river.
Really?
I left myself 3,000 chips. He said he had this live till on me, which is probably maybe okay, but I don't think there's that many bluffs I can have here. But lessons learned from this would be to go all in on the river.
Yeah, I have found that people do fold to all-ins on the river.
Yeah, so maybe
in live poker.
Maybe this is something which I missed out as an online player, that maybe I should have just went all in on the river. I figured that his calling range was exactly the same if I bet 12k, 15k, or 20k. I didn't think he would like. I guess he could have Ace Queen a lot of the time. But I figured he would just snub fold Ace Queen on this river just because of this river card. But I guess I got owned in this hand, and he is too good for me. I'm not sure. What about you? What do you think about pre-flop?
I like it. I like your reasoning with the guy being, he's obviously pretty weak.
Do you think we can just call pre-flop? We're in a small blind.
I kind of prefer 3-bet.
Big blind
if it's
is
Jack 10 suited. I'm just never 3-betting. I'm just flicking it in.
So you call Jack 10 suited?
Maybe even Jack 9. But yeah, I like the 3-bet.
And what about if we have Ace King on the river? Do you think it's too thin to bet, or do you think it's okay?
Ace King. Well, I think it plays better as a bet fold really than a check call. I think he's going to check back a lot of hands that he'll call with. Like
maybe
he calls with Ace Queen.
Maybe we can check fold. Although he doesn't have that many value combos.
That's true. Check fold isn't bad either.
If we check and he bets, he doesn't have that many value combos either. Like he can't have the jack. He can't have a Ace Jack of Spades.
Yeah.
He folds Ace Jack anyway. I think on the turn, calling Ace Jack on the turn would be really bad. He probably doesn't value bet King Queen on the river. He probably just checks back. Maybe he value bets King Queen versus Ace King.
Yeah, because he's probably going to expect you to bet the river with aces, so he probably does bet that.
So I think with Ace King,
but he might check back King Jack if he gets it with it.
I think with Ace King we should just check fold the river.
You think that's the best versus King Jack?
But I think we still probably do have enough value combos. I think if we just on the river, we basically our only bluff combos are Jack 8 of Spades. And nothing else really, right?
Yeah.
We don't really
obviously that pro isn't thinking that deeply if he's just thinking because you didn't put your whole stack in, suddenly it changes your range a whole pile.
Yeah, he told me poker's more about... he said straight after the hand, he said poker's more about... more than just theory, it's about what you do or something. That's what his reasoning was. But I thought... I think Jack 8 of Spades is our one bluff combo here. Maybe maybe I would bluff ace queen to get him to fold king queen and ace queen too, but I guess I would probably just check and hope he checks back something like queen jack. I think bluffing king queen on a river wouldn't be very good. He doesn't fold any better hands. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting hand, and this was my exit hands from yesterday's tournament anyway. Afterwards, sometimes when you do these big bluffs, especially in big live tournaments, you think to yourself, oh, was I being spewy? And when you do the river bet, when you pull out the chips, you sometimes say to yourself, oh god, this may look really bad later on, but I think after I went over the hand, it's probably just about okay. And when you've busted like 6 or 7 tournaments, you sometimes fail to question yourself, and you may just like put everything down as being standard, or just saying, oh yeah, I had a straight flush draw, I have to bet. But I wanted to try to look into the hand a little bit more, and also look at it from his side, because I thought his call, at the time I was like, oh my god, how the fuck can he call? But I'm trying to find some reason. So if anyone else has a comment of if you would call his hand or if you would fold, then let me know. This has been Pleno1 and the famous Ulduffer, who is very UL kind of guy. I guess we're going to go back to Chinese.